And not only that, but do we take the right data into consideration? I mean, we're using Excel because there's other data sources out there that we need to consider. And I want to talk about a couple of those. Let's talk about vacation rental. And it's not relevant for every city on every planet. But considering they have, I believe, 190 countries and an awful lot of inventory, it is something that we potentially want to start thinking about, right? As a consumer option to go out there. When they started in 2009, it's find a place to stay. Then they moved over the find a place to stay, moved a bit more, added new stuff to it. And then they really, in 2015, said, welcome home. Right? That's a powerful slogan that our marketing guys have helped us develop. Us as in Airbnb. And in 2016, we now have so many guests in so many cities, and Accor actually saying, hey, by the way, we just spent 148 million on one fine stay. Marriott says, piece of cake. We did that on Starwood. Right. But the Accor Hotel CEO says it's foolish and irresponsible to fight against the sharing economy. I would actually disagree with it. It's not a sharing economy. Those people are monetizing. They're not just sharing. They take my customer and rip that good revenue out of my hand, right? And I want it back every time. But if you don't believe in that, well, let's look at Agoda again. Well, look, 775,000 private rentals and hotels. Excuse me. Shouldn't it be hotels and private rentals? Still not. Well, Booking.com has its own little tab up there, and in case you haven't seen, out of the 616, 50%, again, before us, 257,000 vacation rentals. So the big brands in the room, can you please have a word with them and tell them to change that? Right? Now that you're even bigger. If you're still not convinced, let's look at Orchard Road. So I was really bored yesterday evening, as you are, and decided to do my favorite thing called rate shopping. Hey. So I typed in Orchard Road. On the right, you see the hotels that come up. On the left, you see Airbnbs coming up. And then I said, oh, okay, somebody will be smart enough and say, oh, yeah, but you get an entire room, or you get an entire stay, or you can actually share the apartment, blah, blah, blah. So I checked both. I checked private room, shared room, and the entire place. And guess what? They are competing with our friends, the hotel, so far in the lower category. But if I go to other places, outside of Airbnb, the more luxury home rentals, they will compete with other ones, right? Family with children. If you don't have family products that are well designed and you're staying for 4, 5, 6 nights, I'd go Airbnb. Who in the room has used Airbnb? Who would use Airbnb again? They actually have a 97% satisfaction rate. And they say it's because you actually meet the host. So it's much harder for you to tell somebody that you know and like that they're crap, right? Maybe we need to do that. Maybe the hotel manager needs to high-five every guest that comes in and out, right? TripAdvisor will be happy. Website statistics. Who of us takes website statistics into pricing decisions, right? Who knows that on a Monday, I have more visitors to my site than on a Tuesday, or on a Wednesday, or on a Thursday, or on a Friday, or on a Saturday? You might only have more eyeballs, but more eyeballs, you could argue, can lead to more conversion, right? Well, lucky me, conversions. So essentially, this is some data that we have modeled for Tune Hotels Group, that you can see that there is conversions all over the shop on different days, and if you look at the different views. And if you look at the Saturday, it's very, very high conversions out of a smaller pot. And then we have more people on a Monday, Tuesday looking, and Wednesday is really not a good day to change your prices from what we have seen, because it's kind of a confused day. I don't really know if I'm part of the cool guys Tuesday, or if I'm already belonging to the weekend crowd, Thursday, Friday. So people are generally a bit iffy about that. And on Thursday, you start planning your weekend. You might start next week, so on and so forth. And on Saturday, you forget that you actually wanted to go out tonight, so you quickly book a room. And with mobile, even easier. And let's not forget, we all have our moments, eh? Each and every one of us. Amy had 419. The copy of that report, you just Google it. It came out, I think, December or November 2015. Just Google Amy's moments for anybody who's interested to see the entire Google report. So coming back to my bar, which of those 419 times do I need to be correct? Right? One, all 419. And lastly, there are 4 types of moment that they define. I want to know moments, want to go moments, to do moments, want to buy moments. So each of those moments, we got to decide at what, if we need to price correctly, or does marketing need to deliver a different message? And then we have paid moments. So people always talk about you got to be SEO, SEO, SEO. Well, SEO, that's a screenshot of my laptop. Googling myself. I have to say thank you very much, Hilton, for buying my keywords. Thank you, you're coming up first. Spent a good amount of money on that. The SEO one, we don't have a problem, we're top. But unfortunately, the consumer will have 99% of paid advertising before they actually see my so-called SEO. And if you go to my mom and ask her about SEO, she will have no clue what you're talking about. So guys, I know we are stretched, right? We're dealing with a myriad of systems, and it kind of has fallen on revenue managers to say, you got to make sure that the interfaces are all working correctly. Not only that, but you got to ensure that the website also runs effectively and that you can book in 99 different languages. Of course, that's really important. And then connect and transact in most of the channels while keeping your price promises and your rate parity checks. And then lastly, I want you to know your rates of every competitor for every day in the future at any given time, right? What do you think? Is the data we still use and the process we follow still relevant? Who here uses all of the data that I've just mentioned in their pricing decisions? Right? So let's talk about the future. And Jackie is going like, move it, move it, move it. Yeah, quick, okay. Let's be quick. Okay. There's a buzzword out there at the moment, and I want to throw it out because we have a technology panel coming up later, and I'm sure somebody will come up with that word. It's called machine learning, right? And machine learning is a scary little thing. It's Google's self-driving cars, Amazon and Netflix giving you recommendations, Facebook, the more you look at somebody's pictures, the more they will come up. So I recommend if you don't want to see somebody on your search results, don't click. Customer response from Expedia. They have already trialed and tested it. So most of the time, there's not a human saying, hey, Jimmy. It's a computer saying, hey, Jimmy, and then writing back and giving you recommendations. And then fraud detection in insurance and bank. They have been using that for a long, long time, including governments. Is it getting mainstream in RM? This is a T-News article from, I think, last week, where our friends at Booking.com say, we have just introduced machine learning into our system. Ouch. Okay. Let's understand machine learning so we understand what it's actually. Machine learning is a subfield of computer science and artificial intelligence. So the stuff that you see on TV. Statistical modeling, where most revenue management or analytics provider come from, is a subfield of mathematics. Now, that is slightly different coming from one field or the other because you're dealing with different matter. The machine learning can learn from new data sets without relying on rule-based programming. which is different to your statistical stuff. And the reason I bring that up is because I guarantee you some owner, some asset owner, some CEO, some marketing folk, they will see that buzzword somewhere, and where do they go? Yo, revenue management, yo, we do machine learning, eh? Right? So you actually can say, no, no. And there's 4 types of learning, right? Supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforced. Who has kids here? I don't need to explain, you know all 4, right? For those who you don't have kids, supervised, I show you a picture of a dog and I say that's a dog. That's a cat. Unsupervised is, here's a dog and cat, you figure it out. Right? Semi-supervised is a bit like, no, I told you it's a dog. Yeah, I told you again it's a dog. And then you reinforce is a bit like you trial and error. Now you know it's a dog, then you see it's a cat, and you kind of go like, was a cat, gotta go back to the dog. Essentially, it will try to find pockets in the data. It will find the answer in the data without you telling it, please go and look for that answer. How would it visually look differently? That's what McKinsey does for one of the major telecom companies globally. So they have run machine learning versus regression algorithms. If you look at the regression algorithm, that's a little green thing going from the left to the right. And then the ones that look like brain matter on an MRI scan, that's machine learning. And they looked at us to check the churn rate or the value from the customer when they churn. Right? So you can see that both of them are kind of going for the same stuff, but in a different way. And then Microsoft came, and Microsoft created a teenage girl on Twitter. Has anybody read that story? No? Yeah? Yeah, so Microsoft used unsupervised. It's like telling your 2-year-old, here's a pen, go to that wall. So they launched artificial intelligence unsupervised, so they didn't give it any direction. Within 2 hours, it was becoming a bit racial and a bit controversial. Because people were starting to have fun with it, and because it's unsupervised, it essentially started mimicking the behavior it learns from out there, and people took advantage of it. So Microsoft took it down. Thank you, Microsoft. Next time, maybe semi-supervised, or maybe you give it a bit more supervision here. How can we use it? Well, we can use it to look at destination and market demands. You can tell me what my derivative should be at each of those days, not just my room types. Alert me when something is happening. I don't want to tell you what's happening. You're the system, you tell me what's happening. Right? That's why I pay you for. Alert me of people and what they're saying about me. That's a bit like the sentiment stuff, but real time. Hey, your GM didn't high-five that Expedia customer. He ain't happy. Work with any data. We know today that data comes and goes. Flash sales came, they kind of flashed away again, right? So the machine learning will detect, should I use that data or not? I don't want to tell it, you know what, let's trial it out for 6 months and see if we should use that data. Chances are it comes out inconclusive. Check on image variations on my booking engine, right? Do recommended funnel activations within the funnel. Expedia, Booking.com, Agoda are very good at that kind of stuff, to give you marketing messages to drive a bit of urgency when you go through the booking process. Ooh, there's only 3 hotels left. Ooh, there's only 3 rooms left. You go 3 hours later, there's still 3 rooms only left. There will always be 3 rooms only left. And then recommend marketing promotions. So do I put freebie in my subject line of my EDM? What is my click rate? What is my opening rate then? Right? Maybe I can move it from 10% to 20% opening rate. If I have achieved that, I go to the next part and look at what's inside my EDM in order to drive more revenue for my hotels. Because at the end of the day, we are here to make more money for whoever owns the building. And then lastly, possibly, maybe we can have a conversation and take them for dinner. Okay, so is ML another buzzword like flash sales? Is it come? Is it gone? What does the future hold? A bit of everything, I believe. considering I now need to stop. Thank you very much. Clap, cheer, yay, we have lunch.